Hi, my name is Lori Logan, and together with Marcus Harris, Rose Cater, Darian Kearney, and Stephen Leblis, we did a comparison of two leaders, Bill Gates and Elon Musk, and their leadership styles. The comparison of leaders is a method in which one can learn the desirable and effective traits and then apply those to our own leadership style. In this paper, we will examine two transformational leaders, Bill Gates and Elon Musk, and look deeper at the undercurrents in their leadership behaviors.
Bill Gates is best known for his longtime leadership role with Microsoft, which he co-founded in 1975. Bill Gates' behavior is described as competitive, passionate, and obsessive. In the early days of Microsoft, Gates' competitive drive often led him to challenge his employees to match his competitive flair. If they didn't meet his expectation, he was no stranger to public humiliation and has been known to verbally be combative and berate his manager. Nonetheless, Bill Gates' passion was unmatched when it came to something that he was interested in. During college, he spent his free time working on computers instead of his enrolled major in pre-law. It was his obsessive behavior for his continual drive to perfect something, which was his computer software. Even though he didn't finish his education at Harvard for pre-law, he did have several business failures. But the information that he gained and the experiences that he had developed him as an entrepreneur, which ended up as his ultimate success. Back in the early 60s, Bill Gates was a revolutionary thinker. As a revolutionary thinker, he had some successes as well as setbacks. A couple of his successes was his mastery of computer language in its infancy, and then commercializing his ability to create a common computer language. Some of his business startup failures resulted in a failed business model, but that ultimately led to the success of Microsoft through the experiences and the knowledge that he gained from failing. Another failure of Gates was his inability to take advantage of opportunities outside of the Windows environment, such as Google and other search engines. Again, his seeming failures didn't affect the success of his software company, which is now Microsoft. He remained focused and he built his wealth and he grew his companies to ultimate success through the technological innovations, the keen business strategies, his aggressive business tactics, and he ultimately became one of the richest men in the world. Bill Gates is now known mostly for his ethical leadership through his philanthropic foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which he launched in 2000. As of 2017, Gates' total contributions to this foundation is about $50 billion. The foundation primarily aims to enhance healthcare and reduce extreme poverty, and it also is to expand educational opportunities and access to information technology in the United States. Overall, Bill Gates' leadership philosophy can be characterized by three things: growth and learning, creating a vision, and caring for people. For Gates, growth and learning provided him the opportunity to improve his public speaking skills and his communication with others. Obviously, from when he started out, when he was berating his managers and being verbally combative, that really helped him. Creating a vision is characterized by central ideas that blossomed into multiple ideas over the years based on his desires to expand his horizons and create a company like Microsoft. And finally, his care for the people comes from his desire now to give back to the community through humanitarian efforts through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
A visionary, persistent, a disruptor and innovator, demanding and committed, describe Elon Musk. He is one of only two Silicon Valley entrepreneurs to build 3 or more companies with a value greater than $1 billion. He sold his first business at age 12 for $500. Musk became a multimillionaire in his late 20s when he sold his first company, Zip2, to Compaq. Shortly following that venture, Musk joined his company X.com with Confinity to become PayPal and eventually sold it to eBay for $1.5 billion. By this time, Musk in his early 30s had a net worth of several hundred million and used this wealth to develop his vision into a business. In 2002, he founded SpaceX with the vision to develop interstellar transport. NASA later awarded SpaceX a $1.5 billion contract to fulfill their space travel needs. Musk went on to start other ventures such as Solar City, the Boring Company, and Hyperloop, which are mostly concepts that are developing into a business. Perhaps the business that people most associate with Elon Musk is Tesla Motors. Musk was not a founder of Tesla, but as an initial investor, he believed in the vision so much that he increased his personal stake for a total of 70 million. Elon Musk was chairman of the board of Tesla by August of 2007 when the board met in private without the current CEO and co-founder Martin Eberhard present. Musk led the effort to replace Eberhard with an interim CEO. After two CEOs in the following 14 months, Musk took over the position himself after announcing, "I've got so many chips on the table with Tesla, it just made sense for me to have both hands on the wheel." Leading up to 2010, when Musk took Tesla public with an initial public offering, Tesla experienced quality problems, production delays, and serious cost overruns. The IPO generated a quick $100 million cash injection that appeared to bring new life to Tesla as well as Musk's ego. In 2018, Tesla Motors began to see profits roll in and validate the efforts of Musk. But this process appeared to manifest in Musk in an odd manner. When the Thailand boys soccer team was trapped in the cave during the summer of 2018, Musk offered to build a kid-sized submarine to help carry them to safety. However, when Vernon Unsworth, an expert cave explorer and leader of the rescue effort, stated that the idea would not work, Musk took to Twitter and labeled Unsworth with some very unappealing terms. Tesla stock stumbled following this outburst, and Musk later apologized. Another recent episode was Elon's tweet about funding secured and his indulgent behavior in smoking marijuana on the Joe Rogan podcast, which was a direct violation of his government contract. When this news broke, Tesla stock stumbled again, followed by two top Tesla executives resigning due to the negative press. Musk doubled down with his bout against the SEC about taking the company private and demanded to the Tesla board of directors, "Fight the SEC or I quit." Musk further antagonized the SEC on Twitter by stating, "Just want to say that the Short Seller Enrichment Commission is doing incredible work, and the name change is so on point." His behavior became increasingly erratic, arrogant, and painfully dismissive. Elon Musk has a bit of a cult following, and regardless of what he says, people do not appear to be fazed.
Bill Gates is said to lead with a transformative leadership style where he inspires positive change in his followers through intellectual stimulation, individualized consideration, motivation, and influence. He is charismatic and has expert power. He is able to use his name and the weight it carries to inspire his employees to be invested in the success of the company as he is. However, using his expert power in his early years, he was very condescending and brash with his employees, hoping it would encourage them to be more creative and competitive. Since Gates is no longer with Microsoft, it may be fair to address some factors that influence his foundations. A recent article in the Business Insider discusses some roadblocks in his plans to cure certain diseases in foreign countries. He lists infectious and chronic diseases as issues still plaguing developed societies due to part misunderstandings of disease itself. By exemplifying transformational leadership, Gates inspires his employees to innovate and create great products for the end consumer. His ability to get his workers to be invested as he is astounding. When everyone buys in, the product becomes that much more innovative. Now Microsoft is a staple firm that delivers great products and strong returns to investors. Gates' ethical leadership is demonstrated through his philanthropic foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, launched in the year 2000. As of last year, estimates of total contributions nearly exceed $50 billion. The foundation primarily aims to enhance healthcare and reduce extreme poverty in developing countries, as well as expand educational opportunities and access to information technology in the United States.
As a leader, Elon Musk has this very influential, transformative leadership style that really encourages innovation from those who are interested in what he has to say. He is not a very traditional thinker. In that way, he's a trendsetter because he likes to think outside of the box. His worldview is very objective to him in a sense that he has an idea of what he's looking for, and the results that he's looking for is tied to that outlook on life. One of the negative things that may be tied to his leadership style is the sort of doubleness and duplicity in maybe which he reacts. So I would say that as it stands, Elon Musk is again considered to be a very influential thought leader in the technology space and in today's global society. He's been a part of great companies like PayPal, and of course he heads up Tesla and SpaceX at the same time. However, he has yet to emerge as an ethical leader. He's very driven by emotion, at times can seem wild and erratic in his behavior, which of course creates a ripple effect in the stock market for which his company is involved. So the assessment here is that while Elon is an up-and-coming leader, and many believe he'd be a great leader in the future, he does still have some growing to do as it pertains to a lasting legacy.
I continue to believe that leadership is a journey. By comparing and contrasting two transformational leaders, it's provided me with some perspective and direction on what I need to do for myself as a leader. Bill Gates failed as a leader early on in his career, yet he's now considered the custodian of the company's cultures and values. So both Gates and Musk are transformational leaders. However, taking into consideration all other factors, Gates's philosophy is more my style and the one I would want to model my own leadership style after. And not all of it, just parts. I can look at Gates's history and know that my early failures as a leader does not mean I will be a future failure, which is good to know. I can also look at Musk's history and know what not to do as a leader. So by evaluating two transformational leaders, I was able to take a closer look at other aspects of leadership also, and apply those concepts to form my own leadership style. This comparison, or any comparison really, can provide a roadmap in my leadership journey.
My assessment of these two leaders is that there has to be an appreciation for both styles of leadership. Both leaders were mavericks in that they don't really conform to societal norms or traditional thought processes. Bill Gates has gone on and is more seasoned and, of course, has transitioned into a more humanitarian role, where Elon Musk is currently still operating within the context of the business which he first originally created. And it could also be argued that he's operating in somewhat of a humanitarian role, but more of a thought leader role in space exploration. So both leaders have a very strong presence in today's society, one more evolved than the other, but both necessary to leadership styles today.
My perspective on leadership is one of adventure that comes with unique successes and failures. Both these leaders have characteristics that allow them to captivate people and inspire them. Both Gates and Musk have the ability to inspire people to reach a shared goal. As transformational leaders, you must engage followers and help them realize the goal at hand. I have learned from both these leaders in regards to my position on my basketball team. Seeing the way they handle success and failures of their endeavors have given me a roadmap on what to do as well as the things not to do. Something I've learned through this project is that it's important to handle the successes and failures the same. It's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems. These two leaders, I believe, have helped me gain a better understanding of what it is to become a great leader. I look forward to the challenge of putting this information into practice.
Each of these leaders were great visionaries and have been able to articulate their vision for implementation and put their strategies in place as part of something bigger. Both of these leaders has the ability to attract talent and develop other leaders. As each of our leadership styles is evolving, I do not think we stop learning and changing as we mature and are exposed to other leadership styles. Both Gates and Musk are transformational leaders. Each has the ability to look at the big picture as well as pay attention to details. While neither was always popular with their employees, they led with the goal in mind. I was reminded of leading with cause. paying attention to the details, and the need for mentoring of followers throughout the process.
Gates and Musk will both have a lasting impact on society. I see the biggest difference between these individuals in a degree of risk that they're willing to take as part of some personal agenda. Gates has a more conservative approach to business and personal image. He's led Microsoft to incredible levels for decades, delivering millions of dollars of wealth to countless investors. But it's been rare to hear about his personal failures or news of his life in a questionable way. Gates most recently has devoted his time and wealth towards a charitable foundation. He's relinquished his duties at Microsoft in a controlled and deliberate process. In contrast, Musk has frequently risked his personal wealth, health, and reputation to fulfill a vision. He works 100 hours a week and is frequently in the news for questionable behavior. He has a great deal of responsibility to his investors and his employees, but frequently does damage by his lack of judgment. He's truly a gifted individual, but he has a strong need for respect and validation that conflicts with his strong leadership qualities. Personally, I align my leadership qualities with Gates more than Musk, but I do admire both for their accomplishments and drive to succeed. Time will tell if Musk's legacy will be a lasting one, and it will certainly be interesting to observe.
In conclusion, to find our own leadership style, it is important to learn from all types of leaders, both good and bad. In comparing two transformational leaders, Gates and Musk, we were able to evaluate effective and ineffective leadership qualities. We found Bill Gates was more ethical because of his long-standing leadership abilities for effectively running Microsoft and his philanthropic actions. Elon Musk is less effective by his demanding leadership style and unethical behaviors that led to his recent tweets and SEC violations. In today's climate, leaders have to consider more factors than in past times. Leadership is navigating through tough decisions to find the best possible outcome while considering the effects of those outcomes on their followers. Effective leaders engage in self-reflection with the ultimate goal of finding ways to better interact with others in response to a greater understanding of themselves. Effective leaders also understand the shifting landscape and the environment in which they operate, and we're willing to evolve into the changing landscape. Stated differently, today's effective leaders have a better knowledge of self that drives them to thrive in an ethical and socially responsible manner while allowing others around them to grow and benefit from their leadership. Thank you for listening to our presentation. I hope you enjoyed.